Hey, bubbling, coming in, crushing this. All right, we're back at it, and happy 28th. Yes, 28 things, 28th birthday, 28th date. No matter what it be, we talk about the 28th. So, 2 plus 8, for to get our digital root scheme, is 10, and 10 digital root is 1 plus 0, which is 1. So, this falls within the cardinal realm, being of consisting of 1, 2, and 3. And then it also falls in the cardinal place, and the cardinal places consist of 1, 4, and 7. So yeah, so it finds itself dual cardinal. This would be not only in the realm of self, which is changeable and volatile, but also coming from a selfish perspective, which is, again, changeable and volatile. One of the ways that I like to envision cardinality and how there's this sort of connection between mutability and cardinality at the Pisces Aries um, cusp is that it's almost like where the Pisces Aries cusp we find like a mother and a child. Like the child is still so much in its dream and it has this connection in this body of its mother, aka all of its events and circumstances are provided by its mom. It doesn't really have to utilize its body to get the general maintenance work done, right? It just asks and its wish is her command, right? So we have this complete mutability energy of like the mom being of complete servitude, right? But it's in this connection with this child, which is complete like almost freedom, right, of imagination and getting what it wants, right? So I like to think about it that way. Versus when we see fixity, it's almost in the combining of the two, right? Like man and woman, like we're developing a relationship where we're synergizing the principles, but they each actually actively know each other, right? Like instead of the servitude principle not being able to be in the mind of the child and only guessing what the wonders in that child's mind are that is yet to speak, are yeah, it's almost like that disconnect, right? But they're still so close and conjoined versus the opposite side. So either way, I like to think about cardinality as the youthful, dreamy energy, right? Which is just like crazy and changeable and volatile and inspires us. It's like that creative self potential, right? Because in that stage where all we can do is dream, all we can do is exert our taste, and our personality can shine forth. So yeah, so it's dually in that kind of changeable realm. It's also being 28 divisible by 4, taking up the principle of earth. And now earth is yin in this bottom two, but it's trying to take up around yang. So it's the yin that's kind of formed around you versus the you that's kind of formed around yin being air, being like our thoughts, right? And then our body and all the ways in which resource and matter and Gaia has become us is Earth. So the dues and the responsibilities we have to tend to, and the roles we instantiate ourselves in, and the jobs we take, all of this is Earth because now we have all of this gravity and all of these people calling and all of this responsibility in which we have to tend to, and that is the yang or external circumstances calling us, right? Taking our shape, following what we've done in our footsteps. So, yeah. So this is trying to generally then create our own roles and responsibility, like Taurus, um, or even like Capricorn, right? It's trying to, it's in this cardinal realm, but it's still trying to develop um, systems of understanding. It's still trying to um, um, yeah, develop things that make sense, not necessarily go left and go right, X, Y, Z, or the third. Still, like, develop ways of being and systems, and then potentially move forward from there. So, yeah, so that's a little bit about it being Earth within the cardinal realm, which would be, yeah, the sort of creation and the sort of need to sort of create new roles and responsibilities and sort of adapt and create systems, or not adapt, but kind of leave and kind of I feel like this relationship between cardinality and earth, they're kind of like one energy, and earth energy creates this necessarity for like kind of collapse and newity and expansion, maybe until we develop something that we can take with us everywhere and it can't really break, like something like sand, right? um in a metaphoric sense. So yeah. So if we think about Capricorn, then because this is also where it finds itself in being 28. Or no, I'm sorry. Excuse that. Let's talk about its individuality a little bit more. So 28 has this makeup of being 1 times 28, which is this fire by earth bar right here. And I already kind of talked about that with the cardinal by earth, but that's always instantiated when we find an earth sign, because it's 1 by whatever. So this fire by earth creates this relationship of an ability to actually, like, yeah, create things around my desires, which also means be careful what you desire, right? Because if you're able to create a situation about what you wish for, well, hey, I hope it's what you really wanted, right? It's also 2 by 14, which is water by water, which we see in this little bow here. And water by water is a sort of connection to currents and being externally driven and kind of service, right? But sort of an ability to manage that, right? Like a connection to what's going to be fortunate and accepted and received well, right? So that's really cool. And that will help, right, needing to develop structures, right? Things we can take with us. 3, yeah, 3 times 8, 9, no, 7, no, 8, no. 4 times 7. Yeah, it's not divisible by 3. Yeah, 4 times 7. And this will be earth times air. And this is actually a restricted placement. So this means, like, anytime we're trying to express things that we may not have developed roles or responsibilities on, people are like calling us out. You know what I mean? It's like this weird connection where we can't really think or elaborate or express ourselves unless we've really developed a solid foundation. And with our foundations, it's like our foundations don't really seem to work unless we get a solid understanding over why. So it's a sort of forced trying to having to learn logic in a way. And not, if you don't understand the logic, it's like you're always getting cut under and your responsibilities don't work. So it's sort of this limitation, and you're having to put your reason where your mouth is, or where your roles and responsibilities are. So you can only express what you know makes sense, what you've tried, true, and tested, right? So yeah. Yeah. So a little bit more that kind of even adds on to this is it being 28. 8 in the second place is 8 is in the realm of mutability, but it's fixed. So this is trying to develop systems and, like, yeah, like having a steady refinement way of getting sucked up, right? Like having a trade we could take anywhere would be a good 8. And then 2 is just kind of steady Taurian nature. 2 is fixity, but in the realm of cardinality, aka in the realm of our personal self, how we kind of steadily do things, what we tend to do, you know, what's common, what will kind of happen again. And so within that, we found 2. So our own kind of structures and what we tend to do, right? So we kind of tend to do what we tend to do. It's kind of Taurian, 2 in the second. Yeah. Yeah, within all this, it finds itself in the Capricorn realm, which is more of a realm than a personal placement, and also within the number 7. So both of these are kind of different. 7 is the realm of creating new things. Um, when it comes down to um, how we're kind of getting sucked up and how we're being of service, like being of service in a new way would kind of be a 7 thing. Being mutability, like being caring and tending, but in a completely new way, right? And then the Capricorn is sort of the responsibilities that we can bring to the table, that we can bring with us anywhere, right? That we can bring of service. And then it's also our unique approach on responsibility. So yeah, that's cool. A little bit about 28. Happy 28. Bubbling, Citra, Beach, out.